For more than 40 years, millions of people over the age of 50 have quietly feared one simple food, a food that most of us grew up eating, a food that was once considered nature's perfect meal, but that doctors suddenly told us to avoid: eggs. You may have heard the warnings yourself. Eggs raise cholesterol, egg yolks clog arteries, or, if you care about your heart, avoid eggs. If you're over 50, that warning probably stuck with you even more. After 50, heart disease suddenly feels personal. It's no longer something that happens to other people. It's your blood pressure, your cholesterol report, your doctor's concerned tone, and your friend who had a heart attack out of nowhere. So the question becomes unavoidable. Are eggs secretly damaging your heart, or have we been misunderstanding them this entire time? Today we're going to talk about something doctors rarely explain clearly, especially to people over 50. Not because they want to hide anything, but because the story is far more complex than a short clinic visit allows. By the end of this video, you'll understand why eggs became the villain in the first place, why cholesterol numbers alone don't tell the real story, what actually damages arteries as we age, and how eggs fit into heart health after 50. Stay with us, because the truth is not what most people expect. Confusion and fatigue. Many people over 50 feel overwhelmed and frustrated by constantly changing nutrition advice. One year eggs are labeled dangerous, the next they are superfoods, while fats, butter, and sugar alternately take the blame. This back and forth leaves individuals unsure who to trust or what is truly safe for their hearts. The script promises clarity by examining where the fear of eggs began, exploring modern science on cholesterol, and explaining heart disease mechanisms after 50, all while offering practical guidance without hype or scare tactics. How eggs became the enemy. The fear of eggs began in the mid-20th century with the rise of heart disease. Researcher Ansel Keys introduced the cholesterol hypothesis, proposing that saturated fat raises cholesterol, which clogs arteries and causes heart disease. Eggs containing dietary cholesterol became a convenient target and were widely labeled as harmful. People were advised to eat only egg whites or severely limit egg consumption, a message that deeply influenced those over 50. Importantly, this caution was based on a theory that seemed logical at the time, not on malice, and public health guidance lagged behind evolving science. The problem with oversimplification cholesterol was treated like a simple on-off switch. High cholesterol is bad, low cholesterol is good. But the human body is far more complex. Cholesterol is essential for survival. It builds cell membranes, produces hormones, supports brain function, and aids vitamin D synthesis. After age 50, hormone shifts, increased inflammation, reduced vascular flexibility, and altered nutrient absorption make the context and quality of cholesterol far more important than simply its quantity. The cracks in the old narrative. Over time, researchers observed inconsistencies in the old cholesterol story. Many people with heart disease had normal cholesterol, while some with high cholesterol remained healthy. Populations consuming high cholesterol diets often had low rates of heart disease. These findings challenged the original view and suggested that cholesterol levels alone are not reliable predictors of heart disease. Setting the stage for modern understanding. The script teases the next focus: understanding what truly damages arteries, how plaque forms, why heart disease risk increases with age, and ultimately, the role eggs play in a heart-healthy diet. By separating fear from fact, it prepares viewers to make informed choices and see eggs in the proper context, especially after 50. The real science of cholesterol, oxidation, and heart disease. After 50. Why cholesterol was misunderstood. Cholesterol has long been misunderstood. For decades, it was portrayed as a toxic substance, something that clogs arteries and causes heart attacks. But the truth is very different. Cholesterol is not poison. It is an essential structural molecule that your body relies on every day to repair cells, build hormones like estrogen and testosterone, support brain function, and maintain nerve insulation. In fact, your brain is one of the most cholesterol-rich organs in the body. If cholesterol were inherently harmful, brain function would fail first, but it doesn't. Blood tests often confuse people. When doctors measure cholesterol, they are not measuring free-floating cholesterol itself. They are measuring lipoproteins, the carriers that transport cholesterol through the blood. The two most common lipoproteins are LDL, low-density lipoprotein, often called bad cholesterol, and HDL, high-density lipoprotein, often called good cholesterol. The real enemy is not cholesterol itself, but oxidized cholesterol. Oxidation is a chemical process you have likely seen before, such as metal rusting, apples turning brown, or oil becoming rancid. Cholesterol can oxidize in a similar way, especially after age 50, when antioxidant defenses decline, inflammation increases, exposure to toxins accumulates, and mitochondrial efficiency drops. These changes make oxidation more likely. When LDL becomes oxidized, your immune system recognizes it as harmful. White blood cells rush to attack. Inflammation rises and the damaged particles stick to artery walls. Over time, this leads to plaque formation and reduced arterial flexibility. It's important to understand that the problem begins with damage, not cholesterol itself. Cholesterol acts like a firefighter, rushing in to repair injured arteries. Plaque forms not because cholesterol is inherently bad, but because the environment, characterized by high inflammation, poor nutrition, and oxidative stress, creates conditions that lead to arterial damage. Inflammation, the true predictor. Research has shifted its focus from cholesterol to inflammation as a key factor in heart disease. Scientists have observed that chronic inflammation predicts heart disease more accurately than cholesterol levels alone. People with normal lipid panels but high inflammation often face a higher risk of heart problems. Inflammation damages blood vessels, and cholesterol becomes involved as part of the body's response, not as the initial trigger. This distinction is particularly important after age 50, when inflammation naturally rises and the body's oxidative defenses begin to weaken. Eggs and cholesterol. Quality. Eggs don't just contain cholesterol, they also provide important nutrients such as antioxidants, phospholipids, and fat-soluble vitamins. These compounds play a crucial role in protecting cholesterol from oxidation, helping maintain its beneficial functions in the body and supporting overall heart and metabolic health. Why eggs are one of the most powerful foods after 50. Why aging changes nutritional needs. One of the biggest mistakes in nutrition advice is assuming that a 25-year-old and a 65-year-old have the same needs. They don't. After age 50, the body undergoes predictable changes. Muscle protein synthesis slows, digestive efficiency decreases, and the absorption of vitamins becomes less reliable. Inflammation becomes more common, and appetite often decreases, even as nutrient requirements rise. These changes mean that older adults need to approach nutrition differently, focusing on foods that support muscle maintenance, digestion, and overall health. Eggs as a complete protein. Why this matters after 50. First, protein. Egg protein is the gold standard. It contains all 9 essential amino acids in the perfect ratios for human use. After 50, we face sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength. This is a primary driver of frailty, loss of independence, and metabolic slowdown. The high-quality bioavailable protein in eggs is critical for preserving and building that lean muscle, for tissue repair, and for a robust immune system. Second, the fats. The yolk contains a beautiful mix of monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, including omega-3 fatty acids. Remember inflammation? Omega-3s are powerfully anti-inflammatory. They support brain health, fighting cognitive decline, joint health, and yes, heart health. The yolk also contains fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin, crucial for calcium absorption, bone health, immune function, and mood. Deficiency is rampant in older adults. Vitamin K2, the traffic director for calcium. It ensures calcium goes into your bones and teeth, not into your arteries and soft tissues. This is directly anti-calcific for your arteries. B vitamins, including B12 and folate, essential for energy production, nerve function, and lowering homocysteine, an independent risk factor for heart disease when elevated. Third, minerals, iron, in a highly absorbable form, zinc for immunity, and selenium, a powerful antioxidant mineral that is a key soldier in your body's army against oxidation. Choline, the heart and brain nutrient, most people lack. But there is one superstar nutrient in eggs that is so critical for aging brains and livers it deserves its own spotlight: choline. Most people are deficient in choline. It's essential for the integrity of every cell membrane in your body. It's a key component of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter vital for memory, focus, and muscle control. It's crucial for liver function, helping to prevent fatty liver disease. Eggs contain the antioxidants lutein and zeaxanthin, which accumulate in the retina and act like internal sunglasses, protecting against age-related macular degeneration and cataracts. How to eat eggs after 50. By the time people reach their 50s or 60s, many have been told to just eat egg whites. While this sounds logical, safe, and responsible, nutrition rarely works in simple rules. Removing the yolk eliminates more than cholesterol. It also removes choline, which is critical for brain and heart function, fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, carotenoids that reduce inflammation, and natural fats that help stabilize blood sugar. The real question is not whether to eat eggs, but how eggs should fit into a body that has changed after 50. The aging metabolism changes the egg equation. After age 50, protein absorption becomes less efficient, muscle breakdown accelerates, and blood sugar regulation becomes more fragile. Eggs can directly support all three. One large egg contains 6 to 7 grams of high-quality protein, all essential amino acids, leucine for muscle preservation, and natural fats that slow digestion. For older adults, this is important because muscle loss, or sarcopenia, is a major predictor of frailty, falls, insulin resistance, and cardiovascular decline. Eggs don't just provide protein, they signal the body to preserve muscle. Why timing matters. More than quantity, timing also matters more than quantity. Insulin sensitivity tends to be highest earlier in the day and lower in the evening. Carbohydrates are harder to handle at night, blood sugar spikes last longer, and fat storage increases. Eggs help stabilize blood sugar, which is why many cardiologists recommend eating them for breakfast or early lunch rather than late at night. A morning meal with eggs can reduce hunger later, lower post-meal glucose spikes, improve satiety hormones, and reduce evening overeating. The cooking method. Nobody talks about how eggs are cooked is equally important. High heat can damage fats, burned oils increase oxidation, and overcooked yolks lose protective compounds. Populations that eat gently cooked eggs show better health outcomes than those consuming fried or overcooked eggs. The best cooking methods after 50 include soft-boiled, poached, lightly scrambled at low heat, and steamed dishes. Methods that increase risk include deep frying, cooking in reused oils, over-browning, or pairing eggs with refined oils and processed meats. Why egg whites alone can be a mistake. After 50. Egg whites are often marketed as heart-safe, but there is a hidden cost to eating them alone. Egg whites are almost pure protein, containing no fat and very few micronutrients. After age 50, consuming protein without fat can spike insulin more than expected, increase hunger later, reduce nutrient absorption, and fail to properly trigger satiety hormones. This doesn't mean egg whites are inherently bad. It means that egg whites without yolks are incomplete. The yolk provides an important signal to the body. We are nourished. We can relax. This signaling becomes increasingly important as we age, helping support proper metabolism, satiety, and overall nutrient balance. After decades of conflicting advice, the most important question about eggs after 50 isn't, are they good or bad, but how does my body respond and why? Heart health depends on understanding patterns, rather than blindly following rules. Two people can eat the same eggs with opposite results because the difference lies in the individual's metabolic state. Positive signs include stable energy, reduced hunger, better muscle retention, and improved lipid ratios, while digestive discomfort, blood sugar spikes, or fatigue signal the body is struggling. Eggs, when eaten thoughtfully, support muscle preservation, stabilize blood sugar, improve satiety, provide brain-supportive nutrients, and reduce reliance on refined carbs, especially when paired with whole foods, fiber, adequate protein, and low-inflammation diets. What many people don't realize is that heart disease is driven by chronic metabolic stress, not a single food. Eggs respond to the body's environment. They don't create it. Stress comes from inflammation, poor sleep, sedentary habits, blood sugar spikes, emotional strain, and ultra-processed diets. Over 50, it's more important to focus on meal quality, patterns over perfection, strength over restriction, and awareness over fear. By eating eggs thoughtfully, cooking them gently, pairing them wisely, and listening to your body, food becomes nourishment again, not a threat. Eggs were never the enemy, confusion was. And once clarity replaces it, heart health is about understanding and awareness, not fear.